behind me. Young man lost his ring. He was walking. He didn't feel it come off, but he heard it and couldn't find it. It was dark and wet. So there's not much of an area. It's about a 95% chance of somebody else finding the ring, and about a 5% chance we'll get lucky and find it with a little piece of grass in the middle of the two lanes here. Thank you guys for watching my video. Hopefully we can find this for him. Hey John, can you tell me what you lost?
I lost my wedding ring. I've been married for 12 years, and I was just walking along the seawall here, and that is a very concerned animal. But I was walking along the seawall. It was raining. It was nighttime, and I heard a ping behind me, and I realized that it wasn't on my finger anymore, and panicked for a while.
Okay.
Looked around in the rain, got soaked, was incredibly late to the place I was going, and just had given up.
Well, let's go find it for you. Hopefully we can find it. And this is the area, you guys. Hey guys, John's just over there and he's walking down, looking in between the cracks. I just found his ring. Check it out, we're gonna show it to him. How's it feel?
How does what feel?
How does this feel?
Oh no. Oh, you're kidding me.
There you go.
That is beautiful, man. That is absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you. That is the one. Now wait, we have to check it like a
Yeah,
Cinderella
I have
moment.
no doubt.
Boom. Wow.
Wow.
Dude.
Right in the middle,
Dude.
John. You know what? You had probably, look at this, you guys. This is concrete water. Maybe a 2% chance of it landing here and dead in the middle.
Well, no wonder I couldn't find it. Jeez.
Well, you'd never find it. And that's the great thing, because if it had landed anywhere here, somebody would have had it. So happy to find it for you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Oh
You're
my
so
gosh.
welcome.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Thank you.
That is cool. That was a nice surprise.
I know. I know. We were all
Even
like,
for me, I
we
mean,
were all down like, yeah, no, this is there's no chance, man.
You know what? I come into it with the thought of always finding it, but I'm a realist as well. And when you have this little of a chance, the gods were on your side for this one, for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.
Well, I gotta take a picture.
Welcome, Canada. Thank you for joining us on another edition of POP TV, powered by POP TikR. We are all about supporting local business and local Canadian talent across the country. And if you haven't seen this video, you have seen it now. It has been going viral. And with us today, the sensation behind Ring Finders is joining us in, here we go, countdown. Boom, there you are. Actually, bang, there you are. How's it going, Chris?
It's going great, Cami. Thank you. How you doing?
Good. And straight out of Van City in BC, it looks beautiful.
It is. We got a bit of rain, but we got a break now, so it's perfect.
Awesome. Well, listen, it's so funny. I saw you on the news last night. And actually, prior to that, I was reading MSN. I'm like, what is this? Ring Finders, and, finding this ring for Jon, Cryer from 2.5 Men. I mean, it's been probably nuts in your shop with all this media and publicity.
It's beautiful. And, I got to tell you, I was a little shocked when I saw who came to meet me. When I finally met him, and I recognized him right away, and it was like, oh, the pressure's on now. But what this has done, not for me, but for my whole directory. There's such a, what I call the JC effect going on right now. There's such a ripple through my directory. And our directory's 22 countries. We have almost 500 members in the U.S., Canada, and all around. So it's making an effect on people out there. I just recovered a ring yesterday in between interviews for a young man. I got about 20 more set up and lined up right after this show. I got a couple to go to. So it's really helped with the business. Absolutely, it's helped open people's eyes up to our directory, which I'm excited about.
I mean, I love it. And that's the thing about, Canada. I mean, we're a big country, but we're small too, right? And I love discovering these stories. And if it isn't, for the media or like you said, Jon Cryer and, like bringing this to the limelight, I would have never discovered it. And, thousands and, millions of Canadians would have not discovered it, right?
It's true. And I think the only way people discover it is when they lose it, because if you never lost a ring, you wouldn't care about this directory. But when you lose it, you definitely care about this directory and its members, because we're the way you can get your rings back. And before this, there really wasn't any way. And I just wonder how many people walked away from these beautiful stories that were attached to their rings.
That's such a good point because, and that's what resonated with me at first was, I actually twice almost lost my wedding ring. And one time was at the office. I was working in Edmonton, it was like lunch break, went to wash my hands, took it off,
Took it off,
yeah.
walked away. It was on the counter. You got it back, obviously.
Thankfully, yes. I sort of had no clue, like, what the hell? And it was a friend of mine said, hey, check the bathroom. And luckily, when I went, I found it. And the second time, so very lucky. And then the second time was more to the effect of sort of what happened to John, where I was at a park, but it was sort of this weather, like fall. Yeah. And like many people, your fingers sort of aren't as swell, like, swollen.
Right. They shrink up a bit when they get cold and wet.
That's it. And so I just like was there and I just felt like, oh my God, my ring, like it, when your finger feels lighter and I'm like, oh my God, and so I was scrambling looking for it. And thankfully it was like not far away. I actually found it in the grass.
I'm going to hire you next time. You sound like you don't even need a metal detector. That's fantastic.
I've been just lucky, but I actually wanted to ask you, so like, what are the most common ways people are losing it? Is it just forgetting?
It's exactly what you said, Tammy. It's taking it off to protect it, like you did at the washroom, so you wouldn't slip off. Forgetting. It's taking it off, put on a beach towel so you don't lose it. When you're going swimming, pick up the towel, shake it off. It's people getting mad at their spouses. Very common where they get upset and they throw the ring. And I've been called out for a lot of those. And you just want to find it because you know how bad they all feel. It's sporting events, walking dogs, throwing sticks. It's just snow. I mean, snow could be just as busy as the summertime when it's the wintertime. So you can lose them all different ways. I had a lady just call me this morning from Toronto, and she saw my story. 99 years old. She lost her ring when she was burying her brother, and everybody scooped a shovel load of dirt on his casket. Her ring fell off. This, I think, I'm not sure, I can't swear on how long ago, 10 to 20 years ago. She flew back the next day to Arizona where she lived. Then now she moved back to Toronto. She phones me, she goes, Mr. Turner, I want my ring. And she told me the story. They won't let her go in there and dig up the casket. She's got to go through a whole bunch of red tape. And I said, look, if I can help any way, I will help. We have members in Toronto. If you can get the permission, we'll come there. And it's there. It just needs to be brought up. The dirt needs to be brought up. But she's 99 years old. This is what it means to people. They want their rings, their memories back.
Yeah, it's so special. I mean, again, because I've gone through it, and I can tell you many have gone through it. It's like your heart just, it's the anxiety, the stress, right? It's your wedding ring. It's not like you can just, buy another one off the shelf, right? So
well, you can buy another one, but it's not the one that was given to you at that time. It wasn't the one that was blessed when you got married or given to you by your grandfather or your grandmother or just someone who loves you. The stories, like I say, are infectious. They're beautiful. There's just so many stories about what these rings mean to people, and I get to hear them all. I get to listen to what they mean to people and hopefully get to find their smiles, as does my members. And I got to say, I'm proud of this directory, the members who are doing exactly what I do, and we're all doing it for the smiles.
I know. And you know what? Talking about smiles, I have to bring a few minutes of this video up. I don't know if you can see it, but you have on YouTube an amazing video. Listen, Canada, if you need a pick me up, if you want to just feel really good inside, you got to go to the Ring Finders on YouTube, get on their channel and look up this smile compilation. It'll warm your heart. And I'm just going to play a few seconds of it.
I love this one. I love them both. They're great.
They're awesome.
Makes me happy. I watch those all the time.
I love it. I'm gonna actually go to over here.
I mean, that's a dream ring. That's something anybody would love to find, and I'm so happy I found it, because where I found it, it would have got eaten up by the lawnmower.
I love you.
I love you.
I love your company.
This one's
How's
awesome.
it feel?
Where'd you get that from?
I just found it now.
Oh, how?
Right back there beside the log. There you go.
Look at that. That's so amazing. Like you can feel it.
You're so welcome.
Oh.
Wow, it surprised me too. Awesome.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I had to share a few of those because they're epic. Like you just feel the energy, right? You feel like you found your ring through them. So
You know what? I'm as happy as a person I find the ring for. I might not show it, but deep inside, I'm just like, yes, because I know what's going to happen, what's going to follow. The hardest part of our job is not finding it and telling them it's not there. And I've had to do that many times. We're as successful as we can be when the ring's there. We can only find what's there. So sometimes you're not lucky and it happens. And I feel as gutted as the people.
yeah, I know, I bet. But you know what? At least, like you said, there's so many success stories that would have not been, right? I mean, I think
Right.
of even myself back, when I thought I lost my ring. I mean, I didn't even know a company like yours existed, right? So I think that's the good news out there, that if something like this ever happens, you can actually call someone now.
Well, again, thanks to Jon Cryer, the Cryer effect, because of his kindness and doing a tweet and sharing it with his followers, it's brought so much light to this beautiful directory and its members. And again, I'm so proud of it. Before I die, I would love to see 1 million served, almost like McDonald's did in the day, like you wouldn't know. But when I was a kid, they used to have a sign and it would say like 10,000 served. And then you'd go by a week later, 11,000 served, and it kept going and going. Finally, they just took the sign off because I don't think you can count that high. But I'd love to see 1 million smiles in our book of smiles.
That's so sweet. And that's another thing. You're so genuine. I love that about you. I mean, when I first, approached you to see if, you'd hop on here, you said, come out, like, Cami, this is the best job like I could ever ask for, like to be able to serve, people and help them out. And I think that's
Yes.
amazing.
Well, thank you. And I played for Canada. I love your shirt. I played for Canada in soccer. I played
Awesome.
professional soccer for 7 years. I've done a lot of cool things in my lifetime, but nothing cooler than this. Nothing that makes me feel better as a human being doing something I love to do. And, I wish I could do it full time. I mean, if Jimmy Patterson maybe saw this and thinks, hey, this kid deserves to, be a household name, which if we were, I can tell you right now, Cami, we would be nonstop with calls. All of my members would be busy every day. That's how much is being lost.
Wow. And, I was just going to say that I'd love to see you on, a reality show or like a Netflix series. I think it's amazing. The stories you bring to light, it's heartwarming.
Well, thank you. And, I got to tell you a few stories. A member in Washington, D.C. was lucky enough to return $100,000 worth of gold coins to a family where this man's father had buried 60 gold Krugerrand 1 ounce coins, and he died. And I think the kids remembered the story, had my member come out, and he found it. We got stories of people driving, I've driven 10 hours to the Rocky Mountains to help somebody, car accidents and helping people recover jewelry that's lost from car accidents. There's so many ways people lose it, but the stories, if we can help continue them, they're beautiful. I mean, I have so many. I could talk to you for hours about these recoveries I've made, and I love them. I can remember pretty much every one of them. So they sink into you, and they live through you. So I love it. Thank you for.
Yeah. I'm going to do a shout out right now. Like, Netflix, get this man a series. We need, I love it. It's amazing. And actually, that was one of my questions I was going to ask you. Was that the most valuable recovery that you did? Was the coins that you just mentioned? Or?
That wasn't me. And these are all independent contractors in my directory.
Right.
I've found rings. I found coins. You You get called for cell phones, keys, rings, you name it, we go out and find it. House and property searches, insurance companies are starting to use our directory now to help people recover what they've lost. So it opens the doors to a lot of interesting searches, not just rings.
Great. And so that's, I mean, I was reading, so 48 years detecting and 26 years in sort of the ring finding business. You're like a
Yeah.
legend.
Whoa, wait a minute. You just knocked it on me. But yes, I've been doing it a long time. I loved the hobby as a kid. Put it away for, when I played soccer, and then picked it right back up, and I've never put it back down. And I got to tell you, the ring finders directory was created because of the kindness of a person I still haven't met to this day, from Chicago, Illinois. He's a silent partner with me. He contacted me 11 years ago and said, "I love what you're doing in Vancouver, my little company called Finders." He goes, "Have you thought of helping more people?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a money thing." He goes, "You design it, you build it, I'll pay for it." So I said, "What do you want?" He goes,
Amazing.
"How about a percentage?" I said, "Sure." So it wasn't cheap to build. There's a lot of guts to do this, like a lot of guts internally for a directory to work. He paid for it. He paid for it while we
Oh,
were, starting to build for 3 years, the income tax, everything. Now it's paying itself. I say to him, I say, "Bernie, let's pay you back your original investments." He's like, "No, pay yourself and put it back in the company." I've never met him. I mean, what an amazing guy. He loves reading the stories, seeing the blogs, and seeing the smiles. So amazing in this day and age that could happen, So what a blessing.
I love it. Oh my gosh, you keep like uncovering more and more amazing, layers to the story. So that's amazing. And again, when we look at Canada as a country and, supporting innovation, I mean, that's where it starts, right at the ground level. So that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, and yourself too, Cami. Thank you for Pop TikR. I think it's amazing what you do and how you help small little companies get discovered. And we are small, and it's just nice to shout out to people and let them know you have a second chance to find what you thought was lost forever.
Thank you. That means so much. And, on that note, again, we're all about support local across the country. So are you ready to accept the challenge? Do you have any shout outs for some of your favorite local spots?
Yeah, you know what? I got a Greek restaurant here called Rami's, and I really love their food. Really good. It's in Burnaby. It's called Rami's, and shout out to them. I haven't been able to go in their restaurant. I've been just ordering in, but the food is hot and it's delicious. Also, Tissot. It's our pet store. Shout out to them here at Market Crossing in Burnaby, because these kids were working through COVID when they didn't even have the screens in front of them, which none of us could understand. And finally, they got them protected. They never stopped, and that was important for our pets, And also, Mucho Burrito in Mark and Cross, and another good little restaurant.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. And you know what? It's really nice of you to do that. I mean, we've had this challenge, activated for a few months now. And what I'm hearing is they love it. Warms their heart when they see people shouting out their business. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. And again, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you so much. And so again, if anybody ever loses a ring, like any tips on, I mean, I guess stay calm is number one, but
Yeah, there is a very important tip. Record your area, like GPS it if you're in the bushes, so we can get back to it. A lot of times people panic, like at a beach, but they don't make any reference marks. Make a reference mark. If you're out in the water chest deep and you've lost your ring, try to count how many steps, how many yards out to the sand. Go to a tree, count the distance from where you were in the water back out. This will get us in the general area. Reference marks are really important.
okay, that's great to know. I would have not, yeah, because I think the tendency is like you freak out, right? So
Well, so many people do, and then when you get
yeah.
there, you really got to be a good detective. You got to ask a lot of questions, not be afraid to ask, because it really helps you get closer. So many times people associate a loss of a ring because they see it off their hand. This is where they lost it. I go in there, I don't find it, and they're like, "Is your equipment okay?" It's like, "No, my equipment's good. You didn't lose it here. What else were you doing?" And then they start thinking, and it's like, "Well, I did put suntan lotion on my kids over there. Perfect. Let's go over there. Bang, there's the ring, 60 yards away." So if we don't ask the questions, we could walk away from smile. So it's really important to ask the questions, get them to think out of the box and where they could have possibly been before. Sometimes you find them right away. John's, my God, he is the luckiest man, because that, when you see the video, should have been found by somebody just walking by going, hey, a ring, pick it up, it's gone. Because there was only a sliver of grass dividing the walkways. So somehow it bounced, rolled, and got right in the middle of the only place it could hide from the general public.
Wow.
I know, he was very, very lucky. And I gotta say, as was I, because nobody knows about the ring finders. You wouldn't have been calling me, so
That's it.
we would have been just helping people. I think now it's gonna be a big ripple effect with our director and our membership, as I'm seeing it and hearing it from my members now, getting a lot more calls. So thank you, Jon Cryer, for
Yes.
being so kind to tweet. Great guy.
No, it's so important. It's amazing because even, when we had kicked off the Support Local Canada Challenge, like we had some NHL alumni, we had Walter Gretzky, and, we had
Nice.
musicians like Biff Naked. And yeah, so
Nice.
it was nice because these businesses, like they were just, blown away to get that exposure, right? It's
Well, for
nice.
sure, and it's important. They're businesses, and especially now with what's happened with everybody and how COVID's affected everybody. It's important people stay positive and Canadian, well, stay Canadian, and support their local businesses. So yeah, I agree, 100%.
Awesome. Well, listen, Chris Turner, thank you so much. Check it out, theringfinders.com. And listen, have a great weekend. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Cami. Thank you. All the best to you.
All right. Cheers. Take care,
Take care.
Canada.